Hi there, thanks for stopping by. Let's take a look at Legacy Evolution Metalhawk. I got this guy for BBTS, and I got it early, which is really cool. So it should be showing up sporadically, probably starting now. I mean, they just revealed this guy. But he is the character from Super God Masterforce, and if you haven't seen that show, I would strongly recommend it. Definitely find it subtitled instead of dubbed. That's not very good. He did appear in the very first episode, and he was in human form on Earth, waiting for the Decepticons to attack. When the Decepticons attacked, he revealed himself as the leader of the Pretenders, Metalhawk. And this guy is a great representation of that character model. And it's awesome considering he is a retool of Cyclonus. He's a heavy retool of Cyclonus. He does share a few parts with him and a few of the transformation steps, which I'll go over in the review. Now, this isn't the first time we had got a Metalhawk figure. We got one, I think it was Titan's Returns, and then we actually got one of the Chaos on Velocitron set, I believe it was, where it was a repaint of Trigger Happy, and then there was one done in BotCon a while back. I don't remember what year. But so he's not new as far as getting this character. It's not a new character that we just got. But this is, I think, the best version of him without his Pretender shell. Anyway, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, let's take a look at the packaging. He does have that windowless box design like they all do now. And he has the Legacy Evolution branding. And it's just like the Legacy branding, but it has Evolution under it. You have his alt mode right there, and it says Metalhawk. Now, it doesn't say Masterforce Metalhawk or anything like that. It just says Metalhawk. On the side, you have a close-up of his head and a nice full body shot. On the other side, you have the half of the Legacy poster. And then on the top, we have the Legacy Evolution branding with the QR code that shows his stats. On back, you have Robot Mode, Jet Mode in 18 steps, Evo Fusion, and that's putting his gun together there. So that's the box. Let's get this guy opened up and out of the package. He does come with what you see here. Set of instructions. Not too big, but pretty clear. He has his two, I guess they double as the tail fins, and they connect his like handheld weapon, like so. If we get that in focus, looks like they are blast effect compatible, and you could have him hold them in his hand like that, or you could also take them apart and fit them on the side here. So you have these little keyed tabs like that, and they fit directly in there. You have him on his legs, and he also has a sword, which is what the Pretender came with. Looks like it's hollow on one side and done in this. It's kind of a shiny, non-metallic, just sort of gray, almost translucent. It's hard to, I mean, you can kind of see it right there in the thin part behind the little hose. It just kind of has this translucency to it. Yeah, so maybe opaque, waxy looking. It's okay as far as the quality concerned. It feels good, but it doesn't has that sort of wax look. All right, then we have the figure. Let's get close up on him. All right, let's start with a close up of that face sculpt. It is a pretty excellent face sculpt. I love the paint. It's silvery, sort of a almost pearlescent white. Pretty nice. The eyes nice and painted blue. I do wish there was some paint on the helmet though. I think that would really help out. Along with that, the chest would be great painted. The whole abdomen actually would be great painted. A nice like gold color, something metallic looking, really pop and really make this thing stand out. The shoulders here are all painted blue. You can see in the 5mm port there, it is red on the inside, so it is cast in red. These are cast in blue. Two different pieces here for the wrists, blue. You've got this sort of The color I was mentioning for the swords and the weapons, the same thing on his thighs here. Some nice color here, the red and the silver, and his feet are cast in a red plastic. What's interesting is the wings here. So this is Cyclonus's wing, and this is a new piece on the inside here, but it doesn't actually move. There's no hinge on it. But it's painted red, and it doesn't exactly match. It actually matches better on camera than it does in person, which I find interesting. It doesn't look super bad though, and not really super noticeable at all from the front side. But you have an Autobot logo there, 2 bits of red, not a ton of paint. I guess if you count these shoulder pieces, which are completely painted, then there's more paint. I think they could have broken that up a little bit more, but it's not too bad. Oh yeah, these are also painted, and they match the blue incredibly well. So because he's a heavy retool of Cyclonus, let's just start out with comparisons with him. So you see, of course, they are the same height. The pieces that they share are these shoulder pieces, these connectors for the shoulders as well. They share the same thigh, swivel point here. They actually share the same piece in the back of the legs right here. I think that is about it, besides maybe these hinges on the back. Oh, and the wing right here. The wings are flipped. So if you look, so it's here. That is this portion of the wing. The wing is flipped the other way around. That's because the wings, when you transform this, face the opposite direction than Cyclonus's. But I think they did a good job at differentiating it. I mean, almost the entire thing is a new molding. So I think that's really cool. There you go. There he is next to Point Blank. So he is rather taller. So from that, let's move on to articulation. And articulation is exactly the same as Cyclonus's. The head is on I think it's a ball joint that can go 360. Kind of get around the little shorter pieces here. Shoulders go out like that. He does have a bicep swivel, 90 there. He can actually have swivel at the wrists here. They are kind of difficult, really tight joints, but it's something he can do. The waist is not the waist, just like Cyclonus. It is a little crotch piece here, but it gives them sort of a semblance of a movement here, which is nice. Out this way, twist here at the leg. The knee, now the knee isn't an issue for me because on both my Cyclonus, this joint is tighter than the knee joint, where this is the opposite. The knee joint is tighter than this joint. So if I try to bend it, it bends there before it'll bend at the knee. So you kind of squeeze it together. But it's 90 there, or you could kind of cheat, get a little pass with a big hollow part there. Again, we already know what that is, just same as Cyclonus. Cyclonus, same feet as Cyclonus. I did forget to mention that. He has like an ankle tilt, just like Cyclonus, and the up. So that's pretty much it for articulation, but you could get him into some really decent poses. I guess you could say his fist could go in as articulation. It's not really, but we could pretend. We could pretend. So for transformation, I'm going to take out all these things. Transformation is actually really fun with this guy, and I dig it. It's different enough from Cyclonus. So the first thing we're going to do is fold in the hands, just like so. Pretty simple, right? Take the whole chest, like Cyclonus, and open the front part. The back part, once this chest is open, it'll release this back part to be also opened. But you pull these out. So one thing I do want to show here is there is a tab and a slot, and then there's a tab and a slot, and a tab and the slot is over here. So when you put the chest all together, it actually holds this piece in place so it doesn't just flop around, which is a cool little feature. Open that up, and before you flip this around, go ahead and open the back up like that. So you know this whole piece, just like Cyclonus, right? Head goes in, under, flip out the nose cone, close the chest back up, take this whole piece in its entirety, and, well, first off, close this, then take this piece, turn it around. I gotta move the arms out of the way here real quick. I was caught on something. There we are. And then take the, let's see right here, where are we at? Take the legs here, open that up, open this up just like Cyclonus, flip the legs, the feet in, and that down. Newly remolded engine pieces here. Same thing on the other side. And then we could take the legs and just kind of collapse them. and then tab those together. And you can take this tab and slot, tab it together, keep that from flopping around like it has been. And then to put that down, and what there is a tab here and a slot here. And so you just line those up and they just slot in place. You do that on both sides. So we are almost there. See if I get that locked in right. There we go. So we have this so far. We take the wings and put them out. There's a tab right there, slot right there. And just put that in. And they stay securely. So this is the robot by itself. And part of the transformation is a bit of part forming, but it's not too terrible. So we take like the little keyed pieces I was talking about earlier, and you can just go ahead and stick them right on there on either side. The gun's on there. And then for weapon placement, there's these two slots here. You can see there is a slot right there, or the tabs right there. There's a slab in. Now this isn't necessary, but I actually like the way that looks. And there you have it. This is incredible. It looks fantastic. It looks a lot like it does on the cartoon, right down to the chest being shown on the underside of the plane, the jet. It looks really good. One thing to note, though, it does not have any landing gear like Cyclonus does. There's just these little tabs, so I could see these pieces like the knees and the chest getting scraped up, and it is hollow here. I feel they could have used a little bit more plastic here to make some landing gear. But overall, the paint work is pretty nice, and so is the detail. You can see there on the cockpit. Looks all pretty good. The arms, a little bit of a gap there, but I don't think that looks terrible. Like overall, it looks pretty good. You got painted fins here. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty decent. So let's get a comparisons. And of course, we're going to compare it first with Cyclonus. And probably the other Cyclonus saves me time on reviewing because I don't have to keep transforming back and forth. So you can see Cyclonus is a little bit bigger here. Cyclonus is longer. He has more of the nose that folds out more, which gives him much more length. But in here, this mode, you can't really even tell that they are share any of the same mold pieces unless you look really close at the back end here. You can see that this piece and these pieces are the same. But that's really the only way you could tell. Otherwise, this looks entirely new, which is very, very cool. I mean, did an excellent job, and it's a good size. Here it is with Ramjet, G2 Ramjet. You can see it's a little longer, maybe about the same. Looks longer, it's a little more sleek, but pretty good. There he is with Spin Out. Definitely an awesome looking jet mode. One more thing that I do want to point out, the new engine pieces are blast effect compatible. So if you'd like to have, some engine blast effects, you could put those on there. And there is a port, I don't know if you can see it, there it is, right in there, which will allow for a flight stand. So you could actually display him like this on the flight stand, which is a really cool. I'm glad they're putting in flight stand ports on all these figures. I think that's really awesome. So anyway, on to some final thoughts. So overall, I could definitely recommend him. There's a couple things I would change. I would really like to see a better gold on him. The gold should be brighter to bring out some more of that detail, which is definitely present. It gets kind of muted in this sort of mustardy color. I understand why they didn't do a plastic, like gold swirl plastic on it, which they probably would have done in the past. It probably would have looked nice, but in about 5 years would have just crumbled to the dust. However, I would like to see a splash of like gold paint would be really cool. However, there is a decent amount of paint on it already. And I think the sculpt is excellent. It's a fiddle former. He's one of those toys you would love to just take down, watch TV, transform back and forth. It's not too hard to transform. It's got a really good transformation. It's different enough from Cyclonus to be its own thing. I think they did this one really well. It's a really decent figure. And he looks like it's cartoon mode in both modes, which is neat. I would like to see a Pretender shell for him. But anyway, I appreciate you stopping by and watching. Again, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time.